Ladies and gentlemen, what is up and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking all about Gwenpool in Marvel Contest of Champions. So the marvelous Contest of Champions Trucos on Facebook, link to his page will be in the bio, has done another bit of data mining and managed to find out all the information on Gwenpool. So we have like all of her abilities and descriptions. The only thing we're lacking is the actual numbers, which actually do make a world of difference. However, this gives us a rough idea of kind of what stuff Gwenpool is going to be able to do, and maybe, you know, where she's going to fit into the game. Now, I'm interested by Gwenpool. There's a lot of stuff, especially in her signature abilities and also special abilities, that seem really, really cool. But I feel like as well, something that a lot of people are glossing over is this champion, the way that she's structured and designed, has a lot of serious disadvantages to her. And I'll hopefully explain those and cover those as we go. But I think she has a lot going for her, but she just doesn't have enough going for her. So let's talk about some of the stuff that she has. So signature ability is plot armor. This means that basically it's kind of like a damage cap from special attacks, similar to Magneto's. So this allows her to take multiple level 3 hits, or, you know, if you mess up and take like a level 1 or level 2 that doesn't have a dot or damage over time component associated with it, you're only going to be able to take a certain amount of health equal to whatever the signature ability is at. So that's really, really good. We do need more champions that can take level 3 hits, especially, that might be especially useful. Kind of moving towards, you know, Act 5, there might be some really, really BS nodes or bosses where you have to take a level 3, and the only way to play around it is, you know, either with Gwenpool or Magneto. So it's nice to have another champion that can be able to do that. However, one of the second things on a signature ability, which is she also reduces her opponent's defensive ability accuracy based on her current combo count, which I think is quite interesting. We haven't seen defensive ability accuracy be reduced in this way. One of the things that I'm a little bit skeptical of at the moment, you know, not seeing the numbers, is actually how effective this is going to be, because one of the most powerful things about, you know, Black Widow and Crossbones is that when you start the fight, especially with Black Widow, you've got 100% reduced defensive ability accuracy. So when you're fighting something like an Electro, you're not getting any damage back, or you're fighting a Thorns node, with the exception for Mordo, you're not taking any damage at all, and that's what makes her a god tier champion so insanely powerful. But one of the things that I'm a little bit skeptical about is if it's based on a combo count, how many combos does it take to get to like a fairly decent level of effectiveness? Because, you know, if you're doing Alliance War, you are fighting so many Electros, right? And if it takes, say, like, I don't know, over like 10 or 20 hits to get to 100% reduction in defensive ability accuracy, that's going to be way too slow. You're going to take so much damage by then, and it's just not really going to be a viable champion to play in Alliance War, while there are champions like Black Widow in the game, or, you know, outside of Alliance War context, you've got champions like Crossbones, who you can quickly build up to 5 Fury stacks and then bypass all the defensive ability accuracy that way without even the champion being awakened. So I like that that champion has it, and I feel like there are some scenarios where that could come in use, like Rumble Legends Wolverine, for example. If you can maintain maybe over a combo of, I think, and this is pure speculation, but I think it's probably going to be about a 50 combo for 100%, but again, we don't have access to the numbers. I'd ideally like it to be around 10 or 20 combos, but it's hard to tell at the moment, and it doesn't look like there's any numerical value even associated to that, because where there is a numerical value, usually there is a bit of green text. So there are some fights it might be useful for, but I think, you know, in terms of this champion is widely predicted to be a skill champion, so in terms of like all of the skill champions in the game and reducing defensive ability accuracy for that purpose, I think she's going to rank under Black Widow and Crossbones. But there are going to be a few scenarios where this does come in very, very useful, mainly like fighting Iron Man or Superior Iron Man. You know, abilities that do trigger like later in the fight. If you can bypass that, that's really, really good. And I guess it's nice that this champion has that utility. I think just comparatively, when you look at champions like Black Widow or Crossbones, you want it to be something a little bit more immediate, something a little bit stronger. So I think that's kind of what the pros and cons there. It'll be interesting to see, you know, what exciting uses she has in the game. Now, the next thing that we have about Gwenpool is kind of how she's got a very interesting bleed mechanic. So, just as far as I understand this bleed mechanic, I've read through it a couple of times. So at the end of the combo, if your target isn't already bleeding, you have a percentage chance to cause a bleed, doing, you know, percentage of your attack over a certain amount of seconds, and then if the target is already bleeding, then you have a chance to convert that bleed into a longer bleed, and then bleeds whenever they expire also have a chance to reapply themselves, which is interesting. So it means like this champion has the potential to just keep on stacking and stacking bleeds, which might have some really interesting uses in the game. It really, again, it's all about the numerical values and the percentage chances here to see if that's actually going to be a viable option. But if it's quite likely that, you know, her bleeds continue applying and then reapplying themselves, it might be likely that this champion synergizes very well with the Despair Mastery and has a really good use in the game that way, and, you know, maybe can be used for stuff like Realm of Legends Wolverine, you know, in synergy with the defensive ability accuracy. There seems like some very interesting stuff that you could do there, and also you have a small percentage chance to stun per bleed active on the target, lasting for a certain amount of seconds. Again, in the longer fights, it looks like this champion is going to be a really viable option and really excel, so she might be good for some challenges and stuff. But, you know, just looking at stuff that we have in the game, the common stuff like Alliance Quest, Alliance War, the champions with like immediate effect on defensive ability accuracy reduction seem like they're a little bit stronger at the moment overall. But I'm interested. I'm very interested by this character. The design and flavor text looks incredible. So if we have a look at her special attacks as well, we can't actually see any abilities associated with them, but we get an idea of what they're going to be. So level 1 is Slice, Slice, Bang. So apparently she's going to slice twice with her swords and then shoot somebody, which sounds like an insanely cool level 1. Very excited for that. And her level 2 is Down, Set, Boom. So explosive strapped on a football and kicked right at your opponent's face. Catch. That sounds absolutely absurd, and I love it. And her level 3, which I feel like it's going to be very similar to the Deadpool level 3, where, you know, the first time you see the level 3, you're like, oh, that was pretty cool, that was pretty amusing. But then after, like, the 10th time, you're like, oh, I hate this, like, the joke's old. It's called Watch This. In the immortal words of anyone about to do something really cool that in no way could go horribly wrong. Exclamation mark. So I'm excited to see a level 3. I think we're all going to have a really good chuckle the first time, but I think the problem with level 3s is they just get so old so quickly. So yeah, I'm interested to see what it is anyway. I still actually really like Mordo's level 3, one of my favorite characters there. So overall, I am excited, but also a bit skeptical for Gwenpool. She seems like a decent all-around champion. I feel like, in terms of the spectrum of champions that we have in the game at the moment, she's going to rank somewhere, you know, all depending on the numerical values here, somewhere between good and amazing. But we're going to have to wait and see what cool stuff she has. She certainly has, you know, looks to have quite a few different uses in the game, and what I love about new champions is them having, you know, specific utility that allows them to excel in a certain area, and we may well find, you know, a few uses for this character in Act 5. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, just wanted to share my thoughts on Gwenpool. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Very interested to get your thoughts and opinions on where you think she's going to fit really well in the game. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for watching. Totally losing my words here. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like button. Apart from that, guys, take care and have an absolutely fantastic day.